This year's International Albinism Awareness Day was marked with pomp and color. With its theme still standing strong, different people came together to mark this day's essence.
At NIC Bank, we are alive to the fact that people living with albinism face many challenges, and more specifically in the area of education. To date, we sponsor 70 students through the Dr. Choksi Albinism Foundation. We started with these kids from as young as kindergarten, and we are committed to see 70 children through their entire education. What we have done is that we have ensured that we have reserved a spot for persons living with albinism who qualify to be in this program, and if they do well, it's a fantastic way to get full-time employment at the bank.
Help me invite Les Bailey to the stage.
We must be reflective of the communities we serve, and we cannot ignore our role in protecting the rights of people with albinism. And part of that involves bringing down the barriers to basic rights and freedoms that are sometimes taken for granted. We provide all of our students with all the relevant medical support, provision of comprehensive eye care, regular professional eye examination, sunscreen, protective clothing such as caps and long sleeve t-shirts, and we ensure that they are comfortable in their classroom environment with, for example, blinds in place to block extraneous lighting, and also their positioning within the classroom.
We have a lot of erroneous perceptions about people with albinism, which we collectively need to dispel. And the myth cannot be dispelled by those living with albinism or indeed any other type of difference. It has to be dispelled by us collectively. In Safaricom, we say that when we come together, great things happen. And one of the greatest things that we can do as a collective is to dispel some of these erroneous myths.
Today, I want to give that mantle to all persons with albinism to do that. Let's stop having this attitude that it's our right all the time that people treat us right. It's also us to fight for social inclusion.
Some of the people they live with do not know how to take care of themselves, the people with albinism. So, and they asked me, how come you look so different and you don't have sunburns? And I told them that my mom was educated about people with albinism, so they told me that we should do that for everyone in the country, so we decided to come up with that.
I'm one of the members who came up with Albi Care app.
And the reason why I came up with this app is because we realized that many people living with who have albinism in Kenya do not know about how to take care of themselves from getting sunburns and what kind of clothing they are supposed to use and sunscreen and when they should start going for checkups. So we decided to come up with the app to be like a guideline for the people who don't know how to, for the people with albinism and also the families with people who have albinism. The app also has contacts for people who maybe are in distress, maybe they feel that they're not safe where they are.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever heard? Apart from me at Tanzania.
About
yourself. Yeah.
When I was in high school, and the chemistry teacher called me to the lab and she gave me a thermometer to try and read the degrees. So I told her, I can't see it clearly, but if you give me a microscope, I'll be able to see it clearly. And she went with the message that I can't see. So in high school, I didn't do chemistry, I didn't do geography, I didn't do physics, I didn't do computer.
Things you love.
Yeah, things I would have wanted to do, but they thought we could burn the lab down or something.
Living with albinism it's been an amazing journey so far, but filled with struggles. So maybe because of the misconceptions that surround the condition itself, and the struggles from childhood to now have shaped me into who I am right now. And the first environment a child is exposed to is the parental environment, where the family accepts a child with albinism. And fortunately, I was accepted as a person with albinism, and my parents raised me up to be the person I am, and they really helped me to take care of my skin. They took me to doctors to get my eyes checked, and when I went to school and the teachers couldn't really understand the condition and what to do with it, my mother would always tell the teacher, this is a student with albinism, she cannot see so far from the board, so she needs to sit closer to the board and she needs to stay away from the sun, because the sun really affects our skin in that with the lack of melanin, the UV rays really burn us. So when you're exposed to the sunlight, it's very easily for us to get burnt and to when there's exposure to the sun for continuous time, eventually someone will have skin cancer. So that loving environment and protectionist nature of my parents helped me to survive so far in my journey of a person with albinism. Like in school, the students will be very fascinated with my skin color and they will ask, can you feel pain? Are you able to have the same blood as us? Witchcraft in Tanzania has been legalized, yes, and it is believed that the bodies and the many body parts, the bones and the parts of a person with albinism will help one get rich. So if I ever met a witch doctor and I sat with them in a room, I'll ask them, yes, you believe that my body parts and my bones will make you rich. Am I rich myself? Because if I was rich myself, I would have been struggling. If my body parts can make someone rich, then I will be the billionaire of this world. It's very logical in the way you'll have to explain to them, and these cultural beliefs really blind us from logic, so I'll try to be logical with someone who believes in such stereotypes. If I will compare Kenya to the rest of Africa, I would say Kenya has taken some steps to appreciate and acknowledge our presence here, and at least they have tried to make it inclusive for us, maybe in employment, having the act for the 5% inclusion, or setting up a budget for 100 million to provide sunscreen. However, they really need to rethink of the ways they're reaching to people with albinism. Yes, the sunscreen is there, but it's not always accessible and it's not always available. For us, sunscreen is a basic need. So having it available in some time and then sometimes it's not available, it really destabilizes the plans of a person with albinism. And in terms of also, the government can also do more in terms of education, in promoting quality education and ensuring there are no special schools, because special schools really just close your mind to thinking that this is my capability and this is enough. But an integrated school makes you see the possibilities of, yes, there's a wider world around me, not just people with albinism or people with disabilities. The government can really play a huge role in inclusion and diversity and doing more to reach to the people with albinism in the grassroots, not just in Nairobi, but also in the grassroots.